First of all those who don't understand English or simply refuse it, dieses Video ist auch auf Deutsch verfügbar. Klick einfach den ersten Link in der Videobeschreibung. So, Mackie spawned a new audio mixer. Well, new mixer. I mean, there are already about as many of them as bad YouTubers in 2008, so why? Simple as plug and play USB microphones, because the DLZ Creator can do more than most others out there. Of course, all of the usual stuff works as expected, so I won't go too deep into that. In total, we get 12 channels. Everything from XLR to 6.3mm jack to 3.5mm jack, USB, micro SD, and even Bluetooth. I think you already saw the network connector. This is for a future update and it will enable you to stream over network. However that's going to work. I'm curious. By the way, USB can only play something from a memory. A USB microphone cannot be used with it. However, in addition to microphones, a high-Z device, such as a guitar pickup, can also be connected via the XLR connectors. The Onyx preamps can do this. And without having to switch anything, this is a particularly practical feature. Then you can sample with the thing, no matter from which input, just press the record button. Then the recording can be trimmed so that really only the desired part is sampled and you can put the file on one of the 6 keys. There are then 4 banks, so you have always 20 sound effects or samples to pick from when you need them. This is a feature you can set in the samples section. If we go to bank B, which is fairly empty because I just did one recording, I can clear that. So we can take a new recording. Yo! This is my new sample on this pad. Yo! Okay, we should edit our sample, and this is one little drawback: you can only edit it by milliseconds and you have to turn them and then play, and you have to play them twice because most of the time the change here is applied to it after it was played once. Yo. Yo. Okay, I think I can cut a little more. Yo. Yo. Yo, a little bit. Yo, 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 yo. I can edit the end, I can cut away some of the end. Yo, yo. But I don't want that. And I also can set the volume. Yo. And this is basically what I can do with it. So when I press the button now, from wherever I am, if I talk here and I press the button whilst I'm talking, I will get a second voice that's saying yo, 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 yo. Okay, this is pretty sweet. I wish there was some kind of waveform to make the cutting a little easier, but it works. Of course, you can also play masking sounds. So if someone swears too much, the button mutes all the tracks and plays a typical masking sound instead. Own samples can also be easily moved via computer to the micro SD card. Then you can pop the card back into the DLC, select your samples and put them to the buttons. During the development, special attention was paid to the needs of streamers, as you may already have seen with the sample buttons. Of course, this does not end here. For example, each of the 4 possible persons can use its own headphone jack, which can be set separately. Hey, yo, could you turn up my headphone please? This is conveniently done directly from the main page via the multi-function knobs. And do you have any idea what makes a good host in a podcast? Well, you do, of course. You know your stuff, otherwise you wouldn't be here. For everyone else, the showmaster or host is the boss in the house. When he speaks, the rest is on standby. And if you have to deal with particularly loud, rude guests or even quiet showmasters, you have to adjust the mixer behind the scenes. But that's a little impractical if he has to do it all by himself. So either you pay someone to scratch the knob all the time, like a DJ, and want $120 an hour, or you take the Mixagent and activate the auto mix. You can simply tell the Mixagent who's the boss and giving his mic the highest mic priority. The lower priorities are then automatically pulled down when speaking at the same time. This saves you $120 an hour and a lot of headache. What also saves a lot of headaches is a function called auto ducking. Contrary to expectation, this has nothing to do with ducks, rather with ducking away. This feature allows automatic volume adjustment of audio tracks when someone starts speaking into the microphone. Auto ducking. This is the part where I can mix in some music. This is cool. Auto ducking. Let's have a look. This should be here. Bluetooth on 9 and 10. If I play, there it is. And as soon as I start talking, this will turn down the volume of the music. And if I stop talking, it will make the music louder. And when I start talking again, it turns down the volume a bit. This is a handy feature when you have, for example, background music playing. In addition to such comfort shenanigans, there are also various settings such as equalizer, compressor, Noisegate and even a De-Esser. All of course freely adjustable and independently usable. The EQ is somewhat limited since it does not have particularly many bands. On the other hand, it lacks nothing else though. Frequency, level and Q factor are independently adjustable and also work without any problems. The compressor is also relatively basic, but for everything you might need in a live situation, it is sufficient. The same with the Noisegate and the De-Esser. Basic, but absolutely sufficient and functional. There are also presets that you can select, such as for the EM89D, the dynamic marvel from Mackie. Secret tip: if you are on the hunt for a cheap dynamic microphone, which sounds amazing, you have to check this one out. I'll link everything in the video description. You can hear the mic all the time. How do you like it? Absolutely recommend it. Anyway, what's funny is that the notoriously too quiet Shure SM7B also get its own preset in this thing. And of course you can create and save your own presets. Did I mention that there are Onyx 80 mic preamps inside? The 80 here in the name stands there actually not because it looks cool, but because they do instead deliver 80 decibels of gain. That's really neat. And this is the infamous Shure SM7B with a distance of about 30 centimeters. And our gain is at 65 decibels. And what happens when I pull up the gain to 80 decibels is exactly this. We are at plus 80 decibels and this is the Shure SM7B with a very long distance. And this is what the Shure SM7B sounds with a short distance and 60 decibels of gain. Of course we are not talking about high-end recording stuff here, which is in the most bestest and greatest studios in the world. But for that, this console will be on most of the streamers' tables in the not so distant future. Simply because the functionality paired with flawless audio quality simply takes the win here. Oh yeah, and the price of this thing will be $794.99. And because that is not enough, we also get a reverb and an echo effect in the DLC. Again, both easily adjustable and then controlled over the display directly in the channel. You can also send your audio signal to the effect section, reverb and delay, and you can set this here, reverb on, and this is what you get. A lot of reverb. You can set all the settings with the knobs here or with your finger on this little dials here. Same thing with the delay on, and you get a delay. It sounds a little bit like that. What bothers me the most with interfaces and also mixers out there is the fact that the Phantompower can usually only be either switched on or off for all connectors. Or, as in the case of the Yamaha HG06 for example, only one of the two XLR connectors can be supplied with Phantompower at all. This is different here. Each channel can be operated independently either with or without Phantompower. So any mix of dynamic mics and condenser mics can be used depending on your taste or availability. The only interface I own where this also works is the Motu M4. And for all the night owls out there, or just people who love to sit in the dark. Weirdo! The brightness of the display can be adjusted, as well as the brightness of the pressed buttons and the unpressed buttons. This is a nice touch. However, as far as I know, there is no automatic brightness setting. The DLC lives in a plastic case, which makes the whole thing nice and light. It also has fat and stable rubber feet holding the thing in place as if it's screwed directly to the table. The quality of the jacks is impeccable. The faders glide averagely well and have an extra long travel for very precise adjustment. By the way, when a fader is moved, you can also see it in the display. Here you can also see when you have set 0 dB. The touch display is bright, sharp and easy to read from almost any angle. It reacts promptly and accurately to touches and is large enough to make anything that is displayed perfectly recognizable. I find the layout practical, the controls are all easily accessible and do not wobble or are poorly made. The placement of all the knobs is also good. You don't get in the way of adjacent knobs when adjusting something. No adjacent adjustment knobs. Nice one. The software on the thing makes me think it's a Windows derivative, thanks to the boot animation, but I can't say that for sure. Anyway, it boots in medium long time and then runs reliably, so it seems not to be Windows 8 at least. The settings might deserve a short mention. You have the choice between Rookie, Average Joe and Nerd regarding the adjustability of the different functions. Differently detailed settings options are offered. Can be nice so you don't accidentally misadjust anything, but most will probably have it permanently running in Pro mode. I really like the DLC Creator. It is simple and yet very versatile, easy to use and yet offers relatively detailed setting options. For the ambitious or professional streamer, I can absolutely recommend the thing. And all the things that I might do differently, such as the waveform display when cutting samples, I already have communicated with the manufacturer, so he at least has it on his mind already. What will be made of this, we will see. Write in the comments what you would like to see in a mixer like this. If you have further questions about the thing, you can also put them down there. So far, that's it from me. See you in the next video. Stay loud, I'm out. Peace.